Yeah, what's up, people? It's your boy, Mr. J. This is Sports Prediction Arena. As Todd Bowley and his associate, that Ebali, are having issues. I know a lot of you might be wondering how did Chelsea end up with these two guys in the first place? I want to explain in detail why Roman Abramovich was kicked out at Chelsea, only to be replaced by these two that knows nothing about football and do not even have any idea on how to move Chelsea forward. Please pay attention and make sure you share this video to get to so many people. At first, the British government and the English FA were in good terms with Roman Abramovich until this happened. Pay attention. The bidding procedure to host the 2018 World Cup and the 2022 FIFA World Cup tournaments began in January 2009, and national associations had until 2nd of February 2009 to register their interest. Initially, 9 countries placed bids for the 2018 FIFA World Cup, but Mexico later withdrew from the proceedings, and Indonesia's bid was rejected by FIFA in February 2010 after the Indonesian government failed to submit a letter to support the bid. Then, during the bidding process, the three remaining non-UEFA nations, Australia, Japan, and the United States, gradually withdrew from the 2018 bids, and thus all UEFA nations were ruled out of the 2022 bid. As such, there were eventually 4 bids for the 2018 FIFA World Cup, 2 of them which were joint bids: England, Russia bidding separately, and Netherlands, Belgium, and Portugal, Spain jointly bidded. The 22-member FIFA Executive Committee convened in Zurich on the 2nd of December 2010 to vote to select the host of both tournaments, and eventually Russia won the right to be the 2018 host in the second round of voting. The Portugal-Spain bid came second, and that of Belgium-Netherlands came third. England, which was bidding to host the World Cup for the second time in their history, was eliminated in the first round, angering them on the process. Roman Abramovich happens to be one of the prominent members of the Russian delegation in Zurich, where Russia won the right to host the World Cup tournament in 2018. Aside that, Roman Abramovich also bankrolled the Russian national team. So, having lost the right to host 2018 World Cup, England were angry, knowing Roman Abramovich is the brain behind Russia's success in Zurich. Since then, they started finding ways to take Chelsea Football Club away from him as punishment. But they couldn't do it, considering the fact Roman Abramovich pays his taxes intact and complies with the British law. Remember that in 1998, a Russian intelligence official named Litvinenko and several other officers said they had been ordered to kill Boris Kovsky, a Russian businessman. After that, the Russian government began to persecute Litvinenko. He fled to the UK, where he criticized President Vladimir Putin and the Russian government. While in exile in Britain, Litvinenko worked with the British and Spanish intelligence, sharing information about the Russian mafia in Europe and his connections with the Russian government. On 1st November 2006, Litvinenko was poisoned and later hospitalized. He died on the 23rd of November same year. However, after losing right to host 2018 World Cup to Russia, the British government, through its media, brought up the issue of Litvinenko once again, and this time an accusing finger was pointed on Roman Abramovich, considering his relationship with President Vladimir Putin. In May 2018, it was reported that Roman Abramovich's entrepreneurial visa had expired weeks ago, with British government reluctant to renew it. Imagine delaying a visa renewal of someone that owns one of the top football clubs in the world in your country and other businesses. It was at this point Roman Abramovich began to believe that he may no longer be wanted in England, or he didn't bother selling Chelsea Football Club because he did nothing wrong. Then 9 days later, Roman Abramovich took up Israeli citizenship, having acquired a property in Tel Aviv. Roman is Jewish, and by the virtue of Israeli government new law at the time, he is entitled to his citizenship. Having acquired Israeli citizenship, he can now visit Britain, knowing visa is not required for Israeli passport holders visiting United Kingdom for a period of 6 months. Roman was calm and waited patiently for Britain to renew his visa, but they never did, until Russia invaded Ukraine on the 24th of February 2022. Following this development, government of the West started imposing economic sanctions and seizing assets belonging to Russian government. And Britain, under the leadership of Prime Minister Boris Johnson, forced Roman Abramovich to sell Chelsea Football Club to Clear Lake Capital, owned by Begdad Egbali and Jose Feliciano alongside Todd Boehly. And this is how problems of Chelsea started. They came in with no clear plan on how to run the club, as they sacked Thomas Tuchel, that won a Champions League a season ago, only to replace him with an inexperienced Graham Potter battling for relegation at Brighton and Hovers. The worst thing is not them giving a contract to Graham Potter, but then giving him a 5 years contract. And when it was obvious that Graham Potter is inexperienced, is incompetent, and they cannot be able to manage a team like Chelsea, they sacked him. Instead of getting someone reasonable to, replace him immediately in order to steer the ship, they went and appointed Frank Lampard, that was already a failure at Everton, and Chelsea problem worsened. He came in and played about 11 games, winning just one. Chelsea was lucky to escape getting relegated. When the season ends, Mauricio Pochettino came in, did his best. At the end of the day, managed to take Chelsea to finals, and they finished in the top 6, qualifying Chelsea to Europa Conference League. Instead of giving him another season and getting him the players he needs in order to, equip and reinforce the team, they sacked him. And instead of appointing someone with a higher pedigree, they went for Enzo Maresca, that just got Leicester City promoted from the Championship to the EPL. Appointing Enzo Maresca is not a problem, but the problem remains that the kind of signings they are making, the players at the club they have brought in already, are no match to Chelsea standard. And this is why many Chelsea fans have continued to miss Roman Abramovich, because during his time, Chelsea did not know what failure is all about. So this is the situation. I think now you understand better why Roman Abramovich was pushed out in the first place and why these people were brought in. Chelsea was already negotiating deal with Saudi Arabian Median Group, and you know how these Arab people, the way they operate. Once they come in, they get you a top manager, and they allow the manager to bring in the players he needs in order to deliver success. But the British government preferred those from America, and they had to force Roman Abramovich to sell. This is exactly what put Chelsea in the situation that we are today. So right now, Todd Boehly and his partner, they are battling it out on who is going to buy the outright share of the other person in order to take full ownership. The problem is not handing ownership to either of the two. The problem is for them to return Chelsea for where it used to be, which is winning trophies and competing at the highest level. If you watch the video and you're a Chelsea fan, kindly click the share button so that it will go viral. A lot of people don't seem to understand what is happening behind closed door at our beloved club.